Today we will be discussing the volcanic eruption of Popocatépetl, specifically in the year 2000. As you can see, Popocatépetl is positioned in the center of Mexico and only 70 kilometers or 43 miles from Mexico City, which in 2000 had a population of over 12 million people. While many fear what the volcano is capable of, the locals in this area see the surrounding mountains as sacred. They believe that many years ago, Popo, who was a warrior, in love with a woman named Ixta, who was the daughter of a local emperor. While Popo was away in battle, Ixta falsely received word of his death. Upon hearing this, Ixta took her own life, knowing she could not live without her love. Popo returned only to find his love had taken her own life. In a fit of anger and sorrow, Popo built two mountains, one on which he laid his love, and on the other he forever stands holding her funeral torch. Thus came the Nahuatl Indian words Ixtaxihuatl, meaning sleeping woman, and Popocatépetl, meaning smoking mountain. This story of a tragedy has been fondly remembered and portrayed in many books throughout Mexico. Now back to science. It's important to remember that Popocatépetl is still currently active and Mexico's most active volcano, producing large amounts of sulfur dioxide every day. The specific volcanic activity that I will be covering is between 1995 to 2001. As you can see, Popocatépetl, or really Mexico as a whole, is the epicenter of some very large tectonic movements. So it's cool to see that the most active volcano in the area sits right on top of where the tectonics are most active. In 1995, the volcano began experiencing harmonic tremors, which is the release of seismic and infrasonic energy caused by the movement of magma core or volcanic gases. This marked the first record of activity in over a century. Furthermore, techno-volcanic earthquakes below the equator were picked up, which is caused by plates slipping on a fault near the volcano. These earthquakes were followed by explosive eruptions that generated high-altitude plumes. The GOES satellite picked up strong signals of thermal anomalies in the crater, and after a period of rest in early December of 2000, the low-frequency harmonic tremors grew tremendously to the point of the amplitude that the tremors damaged pen drivers and styla on the paper drum recorders, which you can actually see here. These were higher than any previous observations recorded. The most intense event throughout this period was a harmonic tremor that was felt by residents 14 kilometers away and picked up at the Mexican seismological network as far as 150 kilometers away, and remained at a constant intensity for over 10 hours. On December 15th, the decision was made to evacuate towns 13 kilometers from the active volcano. After several more weeks of remaining relatively calm, a 2.8 magnitude earthquake occurred on the fault beneath this volcano, causing an explosive phase that threw incandescent fragments as far as 1 to 2 kilometers from the crater. A few hours later, an ash plume measured 8 kilometers above the volcano. This activity continued for weeks throughout February, which is a very unfortunate time as the glacial melt atop the volcano inevitably caused pyroclastic flows as far as 8 kilometers away from the source. This chart depicts how pyroclastic flows affected the tree's growth. Ashfall was documented in Santiago, Zalzixan, Altixico, and parts of Puebla and Tetela del Volcan. There is little information or studies into the possible environmental impacts that this event caused. However, it continues to produce very large amounts of sulfur dioxide even to this day, which you can see in this chart. Sulfur dioxide has a huge effect on delicate ecosystems, especially inhibiting and damaging tree growth. and it has the possibility to damage waterways. So it might be worth it for someone to look into how this volcano continues to infect communities.